Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Members, the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, and fellow Honorable Ministers. I wish to begin my response by acknowledging the devastation suffered by the people of Jamaica, Haiti, the Bahamas, and Cuba in the wake of Cyclone Melissa last week. This storm, one of the most powerful ever recorded in the Caribbean, is yet another stern reminder that no nation, large or small, is immune from the worsening impacts of climate change. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is precisely why COP30 in Belém, Brazil, is not just another meeting. It is a defining moment for Fiji and our Pacific region and all vulnerable nations fighting for survival. Without our voice, the collective voice of the small island developing states, the global response to climate crisis would fail to account for those of us who are affected by least responsible. Our persistent engagement in international negotiations has secured critical milestones for the world, including the Paris Agreement and its legally binding obligations for countries to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to keep temperature within 1.5 degrees Celsius, which is a threshold that determines our very survival as Pacific peoples. Madam Deputy Speaker, the reality reflected in the latest nationally determined contribution, NDCs, is sobering. The current global commitments put us on the path towards more than 2.4 degrees Celsius of warming, which is far beyond what our ecosystems, economies, and communities can withstand. COP30 must therefore serve as a moment of course correct the world's trajectory and demand that ambition matches the urgency of science. Madam Deputy Speaker, Cabinet last week endorsed Fiji's national priorities for COP30 following extensive work by multi-agency technical working group. This group includes representatives from the central ministries, regional organizations, academia, youth, civil society, and indigenous leaders. It reflects our belief that climate action must be inclusive, people-centered, and anchored in the realities of those on the front lines. Fiji will take forward three key priorities. First, NDCs that parties must submit before COP30 are the most consequential in history. They will determine whether we will keep 1.5 alive. The Synthesis report shows that major emitters are far off track. Fiji will not accept any NDC outcome that undermines 1.5 degrees Celsius limit. We are therefore calling for an NDC response plan at COP30, which will be a global roadmap that propels parties with weak commitments to revise and resubmit more ambitious NDCs by 2026. This plan, Madam Speaker, also provides clear accountability measures and financial pathways for developing countries to implement their commitments. Fiji's own third NDC, endorsed by Cabinet and launched last week, expands our mitigation and adaptation ambition. It also includes ocean-based targets, renewable energy targets, and the various types of community resilience program. It demonstrates the seriousness with which Fiji takes its own obligations, even as small emitter. We will also push to operationalize the Just Transition Work Program and embed it across all finance mechanisms, ensuring that we shift away from fossil fuel is fair, inclusive, adequately funded. Secondly, COP30 must deliver on the adaptation negotiation items. Parties must agree on a robust package of indicators for the global goal on adaptation and endorse a new adaptation finance goal to support implementation. It is imperative that we have the necessary finance to create a viable path towards climate resilience. Furthermore, we'll be working constructively with our partners to further refine and operationalize the new institutions and entities established to support national response to climate-induced loss and damage. Fiji has also played a long-term leadership role in the effort to enable global response to loss and damage and directly involve the design and operationalization of the Fund for Responding to Loss and Damage. And as a result, Fiji has been nominated by COP30 presidency to co-chair the negotiation process that will produce guidance to the new Loss and Damage Fund. Madam Deputy Speaker, here in Fiji, we are doing our part to navigate the complexities of the international finance system by unlocking scale and prioritizing innovation with a new approach that empowers national implementation. But we need the international community to do their part. Operationalization of COP39 decision on the new collective quantified goal on climate finance through a roadmap and commitments that not only recognize the special circumstances of small island developing states, but deliver tangible progress in terms of scale, access, and predictability. Lastly, our third top priority for COP30 is ocean climate action. Fiji is honored to be co-facilitating the Ocean and Climate Dialogue in 2026. At COP30, we must highlight the importance of ocean-based action across climate negotiations. Recent science suggests that a tipping point has been reached and that continued ocean warming, even at current levels, could lead to the collapse of coral reefs within our lifetime. As large ocean states, our economies, cultures, and identities are tied to the health of our marine environment. The protection and sustainable use of our ocean must therefore be central to climate action. We are leading in this space as Fiji's third NDC integrates ocean-based targets, and our national climate legislation recognizes ocean as a vital part of our climate response. Madam Deputy Speaker, in addition to these high-level priorities, Fiji will be engaging across all 14 thematic agenda areas at COP30. Madam Deputy Speaker, our national position is reinforced by the 2025 advisory opinion of the International Court of Justice, which confirmed that states have legal obligation to prevent climate-induced harm consistent with the 1.5 degrees limit. This provides moral, legal weight to our call for accountability and ambition. Madam Deputy Speaker, success at the COP30 will not be easy. We face a world divided by conflict and inequality, but our moral compass remains clear. The IPCC has warned that this is the final decade to secure a livable future. COP30 is therefore our generation's test of leadership and justice. We will go to Belém with unity, clarity, and resolve. We will speak not just as a delegation, but as a voice of the region, of the people, and the humanities concerns. We will and we must speak for the fishermen in Kantavu. Those coastal fisheries is hampered by the impacts of biodiversity loss. The farmer in Ba, whose crops get affected by the intense cyclones every year, and every child, the child in the Pacific who deserves to grow up on their ancestral land. The world expects action. The public demands it. At COP30, Fiji will ensure the world not only listens, but acts. We also acknowledge the presence of the Parliament delegation that will be also in Belém, and we'll see to it that we will work together in those 68 events that we will be attending, or those side events. And we'll ensure that it will be by petition as we're going into Belém as Team Fiji.